Okay, so hello everyone. Today it is my honor to be here to be the host of this talk show. And our topic will be teaching reading strategies. There will be four speakers today, include me as Hiền, Miss Nhai, Miss Ling, and Miss Phương. So today we will discuss about 12 strategies. And before we talk about those strategies, I would like to introduce a little bit about teaching reading. So why do we need to teach reading? It is said that it is necessary to develop a range of skills and strategies to have a successful reading for the learners. And teaching of strategies is effective in prompting efficient reading and comprehension. It is also considered by researchers and teachers as strategies should have been focused as the strategies of reading the first language couldn't be relied while reading the second language text. So what kind of strategies should we teach? There are three groups of strategies. The first group is global reading, which includes some examples you can see on the screen. The first is activating prior knowledge, previewing the text, forming predictions necessary, and making summaries. The second group is monitoring skills or monitoring reading is monitoring the understanding, taking steps to repair misunderstanding, identify difficulties, and also rereading. And there will be some support strategies, which is using a dictionary, taking notes, paraphrasing the text, and also using mental translation. So how can we teach these strategies? It is expected to happen in two ways. The first way is moral strategies, in which teacher will explain the processes they are going through as they read to the class. And the second method is solving difficulties while reading, in which the teacher will discuss in lessons as difficulties arise with reading comprehension. Sorry, I missed the end here. So the first strategies I want to introduce is I sometimes. It is kind of self-reflection strategies in which learners will be given a questionnaire to discuss about the strategies. And in this questionnaire, there will be some choices for children or for learner to choose. For example, I always or often or sometimes or never set goals before reading, or I always, often, sometimes never check the prediction I make. So this is kind of self-reflection. The second strategies I want to introduce is look into my mind. And the procedures is like modeling the strategy you're going to do and also explain about it. There will be maybe 8 steps. The first step is tell the learner what are you going to do and then voice your thoughts. The second step is read the paragraph and use the strategies you want to model. The next step is ask learner to work in pairs with your strategies and then invite learner to report their discussion. Then you ask learner to silently read the next part of the text and use the strategies again. The next step is ask learner to read the same part of the text and then invite learner to read the paragraph again and then explain the strategies for the class. And the last step is to praise and highlight the strategies. The third strategies is quite popular, I must say, which is annotating the text, in which the learner will do some work with the text. For example, taking the part where they are confident that they understand writing questions such as what does this mean, translating words and phrase, writing definition of words and phrase, underline new or difficult words, writing brief summary of section or the text, indicate that something that seems inconsistent in the text, making note of any strategies that they use, and also relate what they read to their prior knowledge or what they already know or believe. So I believe that there will be many interesting strategies that other speaker want to introduce. So the next speaker will be Miss Ling, right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay,
Hiền.
thank you.
And following his part, today I want to share with you the next 3 teaching reading strategy, with the fourth one is traffic lights. And overall, this strategy aim to monitor the learner's understanding of a text by using a traffic light scheme, and it can apply to any levels of learners with the time limit about 30 or 60 minutes, depending on the text that the teachers choose. And it focuses on monitoring comprehension. So to conduct this traffic light, we need to prepare a text that is appropriate for our learners. Some color pen or highlighter, ideally in the colors of traffic lights, such as green, red, and yellow. So about the procedures of this strategy, the first step is that we focus on the text that we choose for the learners and ask them to use the pen to indicate on the text how easy they find different sections to understand, with the agreement that green means that they can confidently understand the text. Orange or yellow is some understanding, and red imply that they find difficult to understand the text. So after that, the teacher can monitor the activity carefully, and after the activities, they can, based on the color that the learner choose, they can decide which section of the reading were easy or difficult for learners, and based on that, they can find the following strategy to help learners in their reading comprehension. And also, in that strategy, if we do not have color pen, we can replace by some symbol like tick, question, or X. Yeah. And I think this strategy is one of the most important strategy for learners, because it can monitor their comprehension, and based on that, the teacher can have the reason to choose to see the part of the text that learners find difficult, and then they can find a suitable strategy to help learners overcome their difficulties in learning reading skills. And for the fifth strategy I want to share is group reading. In that strategy, yes, here, can you help me? Yeah. In that strategy, the learner will work together to read a text and share the strategy. It is suitable for the higher intermediate learners, because they have to work independently with their task, and then compare the result with the partner in their groups. So to conduct this strategy, we need to prepare. Yes, this is a sample card that we can use to divide the task for each learners. In this, about 4 students in one group, and each student have the task to work independently, and then they can compare and work together. So in details, to conduct this strategy, we need to follow these steps. First of all, teacher need to divide the class into groups and then check that everyone understand the instruction on their card because they have to work independently on their task. So tell the learners about the time limit they have for each section, and the learners will work together in groups. So when the reading have finished, the teacher will invite learner to report back on the stage of the lesson and what they have done or what their group have found out the answers for some question related to the reading text. And for this strategy, we have to take into consideration that the activities demand a degree of mature students because they have to work independently of the teachers. So it may not be appropriate for all classes. Yes, so this activity will give the student the opportunities for them to who use a smaller range of strategies, and also combine strategy less can learn to be more strategic readers through working with more effective strategy users. And in my part, the last strategy I want to share today, which is questioning the text and author. So in that strategy, overall, the learner can critique a text and in so doing practice various reading strategy. It will suitable for the student with intermediate or above B1 level with a time limit about 35 minutes and the focus of analyzing the structure and content of a text. We need to prepare a text that is appropriate for the learners. To conduct this strategy, we need to, first of all, build the interest in the text and then display the questions. In the next slide, I have prepared a sample of questions. So the learners can work together in small groups to answer the questions before reporting back. And allow plenty of time for the reporting backstage, as it will lead to the discussion about the text and the purposes for it being written. Yes, so this is the sample questions that we can use in that strategy. So students can work in group and divide the task for each student, maybe 2 or 3 sentences for each student to answer, and then they can combine the answer with their group so that they can get the overall understanding of the reading text. Yes, this is all of my part, and then I want to introduce Miss Nhai with some strategies.
Thank you, Miss Link. And I will continue with 3 next strategies in reading. Okay, the 7th strategy is breaking into bits. Okay, so it mean that in this strategy, learner will study common word root to support the inferring of meanings unknown words. So it's suitable for the student in elementary and above A2 level. It's focusing on existing knowledge about words to work out the meaning of the item. So for the preparation, you have the examples of words that share the common root, as you can see in the example. These words are sharing the same common root. And this is a key strategy in inferring the meanings of words is to break the words down into constituent parts, into morphemes, looking for what's familiar and making inferences based on that information. So if the learner are familiar with the word parts, their vocabulary will grow and make this process easier. So the procedures will take place in 3 stages. The first one, student will display one set of words that she or he have selected, and ask learners to identify the common part of the words, such as the root and what it means. The second stage is that a teacher will ask the learners if they can work out the meaning of each word. If necessary, put the word in a sentence. Ask if anyone can think of the further example words which use the same root. And then teacher divide the class into pairs and display the remaining set of words. In pairs, learners discuss them before reporting back. The eighth strategy is made up words. So in this strategy, inferring the meaning of unknown words is widely promoted strategy in language teaching. So the use of literacy text make it likely that text will provide and also ensure an appropriate text for inferring meaning. It's not an appropriate strategy for all text types, and nor it is an easy strategy to use unless the bulk of the words in surrounding text and already known to the learner. So it's suitable for the student in higher intermediate and above B2 level. So to do this task, teacher will choose a text which features some made up languages, and that teacher think the class will be interested. And then a teacher choose a short excerpt which have some made-up words in it. So this strategy will take place in 4 stages. The first one, teacher will build the interest in the text. So if possible, teacher will explain a little bit about the book form it taken and how excerpt fits to the story. And in the pre-teaching stage, teacher will teach the students some non-meta words if necessary, and then he or she will explain the class that the text features some made-up words and tell the learners to read the text and try to work out the words may mean. This could be done individually or in small groups. Then teacher will ask learner to report back their ideas, including a discussion of the clues used in the inferring meaning. The next strategy is the next word. So in this strategy, learner will see a text of a few words at a time and try to predict the next word or phrase. So this activity encourages learners to make predictions and also to review them. Learners will use the grammatical, lexical, and discord knowledge to inform their predictions at the local level. And all of the knowledge based as essential to efficient reading. So this suitable for students in all levels. And to prepare for this activity, students will choose an appropriate text for the learner and ensure it can be displayed. This should be very easy in a classroom with digital facilities. However, if necessary, it can be written on the board. So this strategy will take place in 5 stages. The first one, in the first stage, student will tell the learners the title of the text, and then she will display the first line or the second line of the text, elicit the suggestions from the learners. As to know the text will continue, the learners may start with board suggestions, focus on the overall message, and it can be encouraged by eventually return to the very local level of what the text word or phrase will be. And next, teacher will review the words or phrase again, elicit the suggestions, add to the next part. In the fourth stage, it will continue, and student will elicit and then review the text in very small stages. And at regular intervals, review earlier predictions about overall contents of the text, and see if learners would like to change the prediction. And the last stage, when the text has been complete, teacher will lead to a short discussion on what learners can take away and apply it into their own reading. So that's the end of my presentation. So next, Miss Hà Phương will continue.
Okay, so now we'll move on with the next reading strategies. So for the next part, I'm going to talk about the 3 words reading strategies. For this part, about the outline of these strategies, learners are allowed to look up for maximums of 3 words as they read in a text. And it is suitable for students at a primary because this is for the level of elementary and above at A2 plus. Time is about from 25 minutes and it's allowed for primary students. So its maximum for primary school is 35, so it is suitable for young learner. Focus on design, when to infer meanings and when to investigate meaning. For the preparation, teacher will need a comprehension task to use as a stage 2. This could be an existing task that teacher usually use with this text. About the procedures, so we have 6 steps in this 3 words strategies. First, lead into the text that is being studied in the usual way, but do not pretest any vocabulary. 2, set a standard comprehension task. Number 3, before learners read intensively to complete the task, tells them that they can look up a maximum of 3 words as they read, like using the dictionary or translating device. 4, put the learner into pairs to compare their answer to the comprehension task. Confirm the answer with the student. 5, ask learner to compare 3 words they choose to look up from the dictionary before. They should consider how useful these words were and whether in retrospect, which means in the past, any others might have been more useful. And for the 6th step, lead our discussions with the whole class of how the words were selected. For example, they in a sections of text that included a key point rather than supporting details. About the rationale of these strategies, the key reading strategies for this reading strategy is to be able to infer the meaning from the supporting context. So students need to choose the 3 words from the context and then they will look up for the meanings from the dictionary. By allowing the learner not only look up the relative few words, learner are pushed into infer the meaning of others, so they have to infer their meanings and compare their answer with others. By having to justify their choice of words to look up, learners are forced to consider the criteria they use for making a choice between inferring meaning and investigating meaning. Next, I'm going to talk about what I know strategies for teaching reading. In these teaching reading strategies, about the outline, learners set goals and monitor their comprehension through dividing the text into what they know, are not sure about, and what they don't know. For the level, this is suitable for a level intermediate and above. It means that for the high school student, it's more suitable, and for the undergraduate student. And over time, it allows for 30 minutes and focus on setting goals and monitoring comprehensions. For the preparations, teacher choose an appropriate text for the learners. This should be suitable for a student at level B2 and above. For the procedures of these reading strategies, first, teacher need to introduce the text. And then teacher encourage the learner to set goals for reading, particularly what they want to find out from the text. List the potential goals for the board on the board. Next, draw the following table on the board and ask learner to copy it in their notebook. What I know, what I'm not sure about, and what I don't know about the text. Learner should learn the text and then complete the table about the three WH questions above. Then teacher encourage learners to compare their responses before reporting back. 5. Teacher focus particularly on the final two column and help learners to develop their understanding of their text by applying variety of strategies to difficult part of the text. Like teacher need to make sure that student can understand their comprehensions. Student can understand their meaning and what's the text really want to bring about. And for the last one, if the design informations or goal is not included in the text, encourage learners to consider where they could find it. So for the rationale of these strategies, the setting of goals and the monitoring understanding are considered vital reading strategies because these strategies is like the final step when teachers want to double check the understanding and the comprehensions of students. Further strategies can be applied in the meaningful way to work on information that is unclear, allowing those strategies to be practiced in a meaningful and situated way. And the last but not least, I'm going to talk about the final reading strategies. Is add the box. For the add a box, the online learner summarize sections of the text and make predictions of content of the next sections. So this is for the preparations of the next reading sections and student need to prepare at home. And this reading strategy is suitable for student at level intermediate and above, which means that B1 plus. Time allowed for doing these reading strategies is 30 minutes and is focused on summarizing, predicting the content of sections of a text. For the preparation, teachers choose an appropriate text for a learner, of course, and consider how it could be divided into sections. It may be that the text is ready divided using headings, subheadings. And for the procedure of these final reading strategies, first, teacher need to focus the learners on the text, and then educator asks the learners to draw a small box at the end of each section you have identified. They number the first box 1 and so on. Next, the teacher draw the following box on the board and ask learner to copy it in their notebook. Like the first one is my one line summary and the second one is what will come next. So students need to guess what will learn next from the text and guess the content of the next reading part. And the next step, tell the learners that they must complete this box after each sections of the text where they have drawn the small boxes. They do this by writing their notebook. So every time they come to the small box in the text, they must stop and complete the box in their notebook. And the next step, after reading, teacher asks the learners to compare their summaries and also their predictions. And finally, encourage learners to report back on what they have done about their predictions about the next coming reading. So for the last part, this is the rationale of these reading strategies. These reading strategies focus summarizing and making predictions on upcoming material are both vital for reading strategies, and through the concerts focus on the strategies here, learners will become more likely to apply the strategies to other texts. So this is for the sharing. These are the sharing from my group about the reading strategies today. So our group have just shared with you 12 reading strategies, and that's all for my presentation and my sharings. Thank you for listening.